What's up, beautiful people? This is your girl, Nola. I'm back in the building with another reading. I hope all is well. So, this reading is something I wanted to do simply because I wanted to kind of get an understanding of what's going to happen with British Williams from Basketball Wives, right? So, you guys know that she was actually charged and now convicted and also sentenced to 4 years for fraudulent paperwork, CPNs, I guess PPP loans. She also did something with the IRS, and I think the other thing was tax evasion. All right, so a few things that actually was going on with her that she actually pled guilty to, and was supposed to turn herself in to serve her time, to start serving her time. However, she failed to do so, and she was arrested recently for failing to turn her time to do, failing to report. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So, Basketball Wives star, and this is from from Hollywood a lot. British Williams may have missed her chance on getting her 4-year prison sentence reduced after she initially failed to surrender. Right. So again, she was supposed to turn herself in. I think it was towards right before Christmas. They made an agreement with the judge. She was approved to turn herself in on January, I believe, 3rd, and she failed to do so, and she was recently arrested. So let's just kind of go over this a little bit. So Basketball Wives star British Williams finds herself in a precarious situation as she navigates the legal system and attempts to reduce her 4-year sentence. With missed surrender dates, appeals, and recent arrests, Williams' future remains uncertain. That's pretty serious, because then that could mean you're a flight risk. Anytime you're not surrendering on the date that you're supposed to surrender on, that can hold consequences for you, right? As previously reported, Williams was sentenced to 4 years in prison for alleged tax, bank, and insurance fraud, along with a hefty restitution of $564K. She was dissatisfied with her sentence and her sentence, so she actually filed an appeal, claiming that her celebrity status influenced the judge's decision. Initially scheduled to surrender on December 11th, so I had the dates. I didn't have the exact date, but December 11th, Williams successfully convinced the court to postpone her check-in date to January 3rd, allowing her to spend Christmas with her daughter. However, she failed to report on the designated date, leading to further complications. On January 2nd, Williams officially filed a motion to reduce her sentence from 48 months to 32 months, arguing that the court had miscalculated the duration. She hoped this reduction would eliminate the need for her to be transported between the prison in West Virginia and the court in Missouri. However, just days after missing her surrender date, Williams was arrested on January 12th, which is 10 days later. That's a long time for you not to surrender, right? On January 12th. According to the docs obtained by Radar Online, the governor has opposed the motion to reduce her sentence and argued that 4 years behind bars was appropriate. All right. Prosecutors said that even if Williams did qualify for a potential reduction, the government would oppose relief because she failed to report to the Bureau of Prisons as directed. She already received more than a generous disposition by the way of dismissal of counts carrying 6 years of consecutive mandatory minimums at the time of her original sentencing. So I watched the Carlos King. Make sure y'all check that out. That was actually a really good interview. I feel like he did a really great job in that interview with British Williams. And I actually took some time to watch that interview because he wanted to kind of ask her, he asked her, so you saying you didn't know CPN was illegal? She said, no. Well, you saying you didn't know any of this was illegal? Well, yeah, to some degree, I knew some stuff was illegal. She claimed that she was claiming her cousins' children, her cousins or something. A lot of us don't know that is really illegal. You're not supposed to, unless you're supposed to be, and it's literally on the IRS form, which a lot of us just kind of breeze over. But unless you're taking care of those children truly for 6 months, you're not supposed to do it. But she has a lot of stuff going on. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. She mentioned something that I don't think it was glossed over, but I guess you could say it was glossed over. Carlos King, in the beginning, kind of was giving her a chance to kind of lay out her life and what she had gone through. And she had spoke of a time where she was trying to get a student loan approved. She had gotten a student loan approved using her mother's information, doing it electronically without her mother's true permission. To me, this is one of, and again, this is only what we know. This is the start to me of her being involved in doing things that aren't technically legal, right? So, if you watch the Carlos King interview, she was doing a student loan. She was saying that her mother had went and stopped the loan because she didn't get money from it. So British had taken to do a student loan. She got approved with the student loan using her mother's information because her mother didn't technically work. And her mother stopped the student loan because, first of all, she probably didn't know she was doing it. And second of all, right, she felt she wasn't getting any money from the situation. So this to me is the start of Brittish Williams and her doing things like this. So she has a history of this behavior. The question I have is this. Then she goes into the CPN situation and she says she didn't know the CPN was illegal. Well, it's not your social security number to use. So unless you're using a social security number that says Brittish Williams that you are assigned, you know that you're not supposed to use it, right? The IRS thing where the cousins, I can kind of see that because people in our community, we do that, right? We claim our cousins, I've never claimed somebody else's children, but people claim cousins and nieces, and people do that all the time, guys. It really happens all the time. But I think what she's not understanding is that what they're basically saying is that with the CPN, you use fraudulent paperwork to get things approved, right? Similar to Bishop Whitehead. And even with the IRS paperwork, where you basically were claiming your cousin, you use that paperwork to also get things done. So she has a history and a pattern of using fraudulent information to get things approved or getting money. So the question I have is this: will Brittish Williams be okay? Will she be okay? Because obviously, I do feel on the Carlos King's interview, she took some ownership, but it wasn't enough for me. She kept trying to compare what her sentence was to another person's sentence, and she didn't always take total responsibility. She said it, but you could tell that there's still resistance to that. Give me the energy around, Brittish Williams. Will she be okay? They've actually arrested her. Will she get, put on bail while they try to figure out this whole situation with her, reduction? And she has the Ace of Cups in her energy, along with the Page of Swords, along with the Three of Wands. At this point, like I said in the beginning, this could be a person that's considered a flight risk. She has a block aspect here, so it almost feels like they'll block her from getting any type of house arrest or probation or relief to go home and wait until they figure out if she's going to get a reduction. This feels like a block. Your Ace of Cups for Brittish Williams represents her intentions are not good, and she may not do the right thing. She's already demonstrated that by not showing up on her surrender date. Even in her Three of Wands, that represents having some trouble, right? She's going to have some troubles with that. I feel she is fighting. Her lawyers are going to try to fight. But again, with that Page of Swords energy, that can still represent that they feel like, we can't trust her, basically, right? Sounds good, but we can't trust her. She has some messages here. Well, I don't see where they're going to just let her sit out until they figure out the 30, the reduction from how many, 48 months to 32 months. Because I know she was trying to get to, she was trying to avoid that. But it looks like because she did that by not surrendering, that's going to be a problem for her. This is what it talks about. Any other messages for Brittish Williams as it relates to, she filed a motion to reduce the sentence. Give me the energy from 48 to 32 months. Give me the energy around that. Again. And she has the Knight of Pentacles. See, this is when you hurt yourself, right? Negligence. I always use this as a negligence card. You know, you were doing good, you were getting your approvals, they were working with you, could have wanted to just started your sentence and got that time reduced. But because she did what she did, there's a block here, there's a monkey wrench being thrown into play, and she threw her own monkey wrench in, and because of her negligence, it's kind of like saying it's going to fall on deaf ears a little bit. Will she get that 4-year, again, sentence overturned? Give me the energy around it. And she has the 8 of Cups here. The 8 of Cups is actually, I don't feel she may do the entire time. But again, she may get close to that time. Okay, that 8 of Cups. Again, when they make deals with you and agreements with you and you don't follow through, you know, it can hurt you. So I can see where negotiating with her, you know, could be a problem. Okay. She has the Lover's card in reverse, which represents conflict around it. Again, how can we commit to you if you can't commit to doing the right thing? I don't see her doing the entire 4, but I can see her, you know, I can see her doing a good bit of that time. Give me the energy around, like, is she taking real accountability? Because, like I said, there was some, but it just made you feel like she had a lot of excuses around gambling. Well, you know, being abandoned and gambling, and you know, she had a lot of, like, she attached it, which is fine because people go through things and their life is kind of built out of what happens with them. But she kind of hung it a lot on those things. Has she or will she ever get to a place where she takes real accountability? Because you can't say I'm accountable, but you can say I'm accountable, and then you work towards whatever you want to see as your reduction, right? Give me the energy. Will she ever take true accountability for everything that's happened with her, right? She is the Chariot, the 3 of Cups, and the 7 of Swords. I feel she will always have that but there. She will always have that but there. The CPN, she kept saying she didn't hurt anybody. But with the CPN, you use information to hurt the banks, to hurt wherever the source of this money came from. The IRS, you hurt the federal government. The PPOP loan, you hurt the federal government. She keeps saying that, you know, the loan with your mom that was unbeknownst to her, or she didn't totally approve, that affected, you know, you probably further damaged your relationship with your mom, even though she wasn't the greatest. But she tries to act like there are no victims in it, but taking money from a source that's not yours they're victims. They are the victim, right? The bank becomes the victim. I know a lot of people like to say F the bank, say next, but that's not the way it works. 15 counts. She had 15, I mean, when I was listening to it, she had 15 felonies, right? A lot of stuff going on. And she feels she should not be, and she pled guilty to all 15, but she feels she shouldn't, she's being held to a higher standard. Is she being held to a higher standard, Spirit, because she's a celebrity? Give me the energy around Brittish Williams. Are they making an example out of Brittish Williams? What is she talking about? What's the energy around that? What is the government, what did the prosecutors, why did they give her 4 years? The Wheel of Fortune, the 8 of Cups, the Lover's card. Let's dig in the middle. She has the 7 of Cups, the 9, 10 of Swords. I feel like these people like saying, even though she's saying she'll never do it again, they don't believe that. Also, too, that 9 of Cups, she's not taking no accountability for it, right? She made a mistake, and instead of her taking real accountability, she hasn't. Even in her 10 of Swords, that's like saying she could do it again, right? The Tower moment, you know, this person needs to be taught a lesson. I think it's more about the fact that she's not really taking real accountability for what she's done. This is why the Chrisleys have the time that they have, right? Because the Chrisleys continue, you know, throughout their process and continue to not take accountability. You know, also too, you gotta listen to somebody who likes to scam because they know how to talk their way in and out of a hole. This time she wasn't able to talk her way. She was able to talk her way out of getting, you know, her sentencing moved to, her surrender date to January 3rd, and look what she did. So you have to be careful because this person can easily manipulate the situation. This just feels like they just felt like she wasn't being accountable, right? This feels like they didn't want her to have the extension. This feels like she wasn't taking ownership of her mistakes. This feels like they knew this was coming, like, right? Tower moment happening here. And they feel like she'll do it again. She'll do it again. It just happened in 2020. She's trying to act like 2020 was 15 years ago. Like, this is literally this just was, and did it for a period of years. Been doing it when she was in school, getting her student loans. So the person has a history of this behavior, right? This is the problem. I don't think she's seeing that. Getting energy, again, with her celebrity status, really play a huge role. Did it play some of it? Did it play a huge role in it? Give me the energy. What played the biggest part? Did her celebrity status play a big part in it? Give me the energy around British Williams. The Three of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, the Page of Pentacles. I think to some degree it did, right? She has in her messages here the Sun card. So I could say to some degree like her status has something to do with it. I definitely could see where you could say they made some example out of her. But even in the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles again is a commitment to take ownership for what you have done. The money that you have taken. The money that you have taken, right? That's what it talks about in her messages. She's got 1, 2, 3 Pentacles aspect here, but I do feel like they made it, especially in her small areas. You know, she comes from I think St. Louis, Missouri. So I can see where they use this to kind of like highlight it. She does have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords in her messages here. And you can look that up as you can say also too they wanted to set an example. You could say that as well. But at the core of it, they couldn't use you to be an example if you didn't do what you did, right? So that's that. How will she do, in prison? Will she be okay? Will she make it out, in one piece? Give me the energy around how is she gonna do with her sentence. 4 Pentacles, 5 of Wands. It's gonna be a struggle for her, It's gonna be a real struggle for her. She has the 4 Pentacles here in her messages. This represents a real struggle, right? Anxiety, fear, dread, energy, a real conflict for her. She's going to be fighting the whole time with emotions for this, emotions for that. You're going to see a lot of stuff talking about it got denied, this got denied, that got denied. She may even fight to, get closer to home and wherever her prison is or wherever. That might even, it's just, she's got a lot of stuff going on here. So just know she's got a lot of anxiety and dread. She still feels very conflicted. The easiest thing for her to do is accept responsibility so she can go through the process. She's going to run into some trouble. She doesn't pay attention. She also has an star card here, feeling very low, or, feeling self-esteem low, right? Anxiety, self-esteem being affected. This does show like some energy that shifts around, like her the fact that she did that runaway. They're going to be paying attention to her, not surrendering. Like, that's like saying you're high risk even in jail. Like, we don't know what you're going to be turning the corner and getting in the clothes basket jail, trying to get under the bridge. So they're going to be paying attention to her even in there. This is why, doing what she did wasn't smart, because it's going to hurt her in so many ways. Ultimately, she has the Ace of Wands here, and that represents she'll be okay for the most part. The Ace of Wands also talks about she's going to have a lot of like aha moments and clarity moments and stuff like that. So I definitely feel like she's going to have a lot of lessons to share and tell. I'm going to be honest with you. I could see British Williams, even though she comes out of this situation, I could see down the road, and I pray to God, I knock on wood, I could see her get into some stuff later down the road, because she doesn't get that paper, she submitting fraudulent paperwork and using things to get things approved. She doesn't get, like she says she gets it, but I can see in her messages like she needs to be really, really careful, because she has a pattern in there, and that pattern can lead her to be into trouble, right? Hopefully, she does have some Ace of Wands energy, which is, taking action around it and nurturing herself. But please don't sign nothing, don't get nothing, don't do nothing that could get you in trouble, all right? 15 felonies that you had, basically, misuse of social security number, basically bank fraud, wire fraud, tax evasion, PPP loans, and all this is stemming from using something that didn't belong to you, or using information that didn't belong to you to generate income, right? Hopefully this will be a lesson to people about using other people's information. A lot of people do use CPNs. It's illegal as shit. If it don't have your name on it, you shouldn't be using it. If you don't really claim them kids, you shouldn't be having them on your taxes. It's a real thing that could come back to bite you in the butt. I just think she did too much. She was trying to explain that all the counts are coming from, for example, when she used a CPN, every time she used a CPN to generate something, to get something approved, they counted as a count. She couldn't understand the concept or why that was a count. Like, you use something fraudulent to gain something that wasn't yours. That should be a count. Like, she just didn't get the concept. Like, I'm going to take this fraudulent credit card and I'm going to buy from this place, this place, this place. I'm going to go to 20 stores and buy something with a fraudulent credit card. That's account. Like, she didn't get that concept. She just feels like it should just maybe be one big charge. No, you use that to do it. Just like with the tax situation. The children that were on her taxes, she used that tax form where she claimed those kids to get other things approved. She didn't. She's missing the concept, I guess. Anyway, this is Crystal Nola. It looks like she'll be okay in jail. She'll be fighting submitting this motion and that motion and this motion and that motion. I definitely feel she'll fare out okay as she's in there. But the one thing she's going to have to do is take a little bit more accountability and just kind of make peace with what she's done. You could say, well, this person stole $3 million and I only did $47,000. Why am I being over sentenced? Ma'am, you still did it. Yeah, I mean, hey, you in another jurisdiction. You had 15 counts. I don't know what's going on. That person I don't know, the person who may have stole $3 million may have done one count one time. We don't know that. She's trying to worry about the sum versus the action. Like, if I stole something, it's still bad. But if I did something 15 times versus one time, regardless of the amounts do matter. But she's trying to compare, what people get. And I understand that. But focus on what you've done and taking accountability for what you've done, Anyway, I'm going to just say this again, and I'll repeat it. If you hadn't done it, you wouldn't have no counts to be fighting against, right? So at the end of the day, you can't kind of be mad at people giving you 4 years because you initiated all of this. Peace and blessings. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. And don't forget to book with me at BlueNolaTarot.com. All right. Have a great day. Bye.